Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be unboxing the Slaves to Darkness Darkoath army set for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So what do we get in this box? Well, you can see here that we get a 24-page Battle Tome supplement Darkoath, 4 War Scroll cards, a token sheet and 27 miniatures, 1 Darkoath Chieftain and Warsteed, 1 Darkoath Wilderfiend, 2 5 Darkoath Fellriders and 20 Darkoath Marauders, which you can see here. So you've got the Wilderfiend, the Chieftain, the Fellriders and the Marauders. So from the blood-soaked wilds of the mortal realms they come, the merciless reavers of the Darkoath. Counted among the dreaded slaves to darkness, these fearsome humans have sworn vows of carnage and butchery beneath the gaze of malevolent gods, and they will fulfill them at any cost, for if they fail, their souls are forfeit. In this box you'll find a host of scarred and battle-hardened Darkoath warriors with which to carve a legacy of bloodshed across the mortal realms. Axe-wielding Marauders and fleet Fellriders are led into battle by the fiercely magnetic presence of a Darkoath Chieftain, whilst the monstrous Wilderfiend prowls behind them, hungry for souls. So this gives a good introduction to both the flavour of the Darkoath, as well as giving you a good core set to start with. Some infantry units, cavalry units, and a monstrous unit. So without further ado, let's look inside the box. So what do we get in this box? Well, you can see here we've got a host of sprues. These look like the Marauders, which are the infantry models. This looks like it could be the parts of the Wilderfiend. And then you've got the Fellriders at the bottom here, and the Chieftain here. You've got a oval base here, and presumably the rest are underneath the cardboard. Got this little booklet. Let's lift this up. And yeah, you can see you've got your Chieftain's base, your Marauders, Wilderfiend, and the rest of your Riders. So let's put that back in there, and you've got this lovely artwork here as well. So inside this lovely little envelope, you've got your data cards here, along with your tokens. You've got your, what looks like the instruction booklet here, and then you've got your Battle Tome supplement as well. There was a little bit of writing on the back here. So no mercy for the weakling servants of the traitor god Sigmar, no mercy for pledge breakers and cowards. Sharpen your spears, my kin, and swear your oaths to they who lurk in darkness. Tonight we meet our foes in battle and drench the lands with their blood. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through each of the units in turn and then look at the sprue. You can see here the different bases. You've got the 28mm for the infantry, 60mm round and 60mm oval for the Wilderfiend and regular cavalry, and then the 75mm oval for the Chieftain. So the Wilderfiend here, you start off, you build up its body and legs, which you can see here, then its tail, and then sort of the upper part of its body and the right hand side, following by its arms, and tail, which you've got here, and then you build up its head, and finally, lastly, its base. So you've got quite a lot of steps for this one. This is numbered 43, so I'm assuming that is probably the last piece, as it seems to take you through in order. So let's look at the sprue for the Wilderfiend, and you can see on here everything's sort of quite obvious what it is. You've got the pieces of the base, you've got the legs, you've got the horns and the tail there, and then this is sort of the inside of most of the pieces, so it's a lot less detailed, but you can still sort of see, like here, all the folds and the skin. There's a lot of detail in this miniature. They've managed to cram a lot in there. Got a few different textures as well, which make it interesting. You've obviously got the skin and the bone. You've also got some extra sort of leather to break up the colour. So we're just going to try and see if we can spot any mould lines. Where's the best place to look? It's possibly on the arm. Here, they are really, really faint. They are present, but they're really, really hard to make out. As you can probably tell by the fact that you're not really seeing them on the camera. So yeah, this should take a little while to assemble this one. It's a relatively big kit. For the size of the rest of the miniatures, it's the biggest, I think. But cleaning it up should be nice and quick, which is always a bonus. Next up is the assembly for the Darkoath Chieftain on Warsteed. So you can see here, you've got a couple different assemblies that you can build, one with an axe and one with a sword. So you start off by building up the rider, you build up your body, followed by your legs, and then the rest of your torso and the head of the rider. So you've got a few different options for the rider. And then step 2, you build up the horse, or the Warsteed I should say. You've got a couple different options for your head. So you build up the body, which you can see here, build up the head, then start building up the saddle, and then attach your rider once you've finished. Once you've done that, then you're building up the base, which you can see down the bottom here in a few different steps. And you've got a few little accessories which you can add on as well. So you can see the sprue here, and again, it's quite easy to identify your different pieces. You've got your half of the Warsteed, you've got the base here, you've got the rider here, and so on. Heads, legs of the rider. So yeah, building this should be quite straightforward from looking at the instructions. I think there's about 30 pieces to this, so it will take you a little while, but it's not too long or time consuming. And you've got lots of details, lots of different textures. So even like the mane and the fur on the Warsteed. You've got the rock on the base. And see what we can see on the mould line front. So we're going to try looking on the on the Warsteed's legs, and they are really, really hard to see. And once again, I think they're really faint and should be quick and easy to remove. So these new kits are just stunning in terms of the detail and just how much the moulding process has improved a lot over the years. So next up, you have got the Darkoath Marauders. So you've got a few different build variants for each of these. You can build champions as well, champions, musicians and standard bearers. And you've got shield options, so you can really add some character to each unit. So if you're champion or alternative, you start off by building up the legs and the torso, followed by the arms, including your shield options, and then finish up by doing your head. And similar process if you choose to build this variant as just the Marauder, which you can see here. Next up, you've got your standard bearer. So for this one, you've got your body and your legs again. Then you build up the standard, the shield, arms, finally the head, which you can see. And then up here, you've got your musician. So again, you're building up your body, then you're building up your arms, and you just follow through, but finally finishing up with the head. So I'm not going to go through each of them because I think they're going to be very similar. It's body, arms, and then heads. We will just have a quick look just overall so that you can get an idea of what you're looking at, and just if there's anything that shouts out as something different. No, for the most part, they all seem to be very, very similar, and they all have around 2 different variants that you can build, which is good. So here you can see the sprue, and once again, it is really easy to make out which piece is which. You've got your, here you can see legs, arms, and so on. You've got your standard bearer, standard over here, you've got all your shields. So it's nice and easy to identify all your different pieces. So let's take a closer look at this sprue. And again, you've got your different textures. You've got your shields with its ornamentation. You've got your spear with the sort of cloth wrapping. You see the axe with the spikes and the van braces. You've got lots of cloth. You've got a nice amount of textures to paint. Lots and lots of details in each of the sprues. Now we're just going to try and see if we can find mould lines on these sprues. Looking on the legs, I can't really make any out. They are very, very faintly there, if they're there at all. So once again, they should be quite easy to remove. And building these should be quick and simple. And you have quite a few spare parts by the looks of it as well. And the last unit to look at is the Fellriders. So you can see already they look a bit more complicated than the Marauders, but less complicated than the Chieftain and Wilderfiend. So you've got a few variations you can do as well, with heads and shields and other decorations. And you've also got a few weapon options for each. You start off with this one, which is the champion or just a normal Fellrider. Building up the horse, so you want the two different parts of the horse and the legs, so the main bulk of it. Once you've done that, you start building up the rider and your accessories. You sort of stick the torso on the rider, followed by the arms, and finish it off with the head. Or you can build the Fellrider variant, which you can see here. Next up, we've got the standard bearer, which can also be built as a normal Fellrider. Again, similar options. You've got the body of the horse and the legs, followed up by like your head and your accessories of the horse, and then the shield of the rider. And then you can either build up the standard bearer or build the melee weapon, and then you just attach the head. And I assume it's going to be a similar process for the musician, which can also be built as a normal Fellrider. And again, for your others, so you've got two different weapon options on each of these, which is nice. And again, same process for the last one. So again, we've got the same amount of sprues as we do for the Marauders. Let's have a look at the bigger one first. It's just snapped off in the box. You will get all three, or should get all three, regardless of how you pick up the set. So you can clearly see each of the different parts of the model. You've got the horses, and you've got the standard bearer here, weapon options. You've got your shields down here. So again, they look very similar to the Marauders, but you've got lots of variety. And with the front of the horse's armour as well. So you've got nice different textures. You've got the manes of the horses as well as the leathers or fur, no, sort of skin, trying to think of the right word. You've got the sort of metal of the shields and the weapons. Let's have a look at the back of this sprue. And then let's just have a quick look at the other part of the sprue as well. As you can see here, again, this is much like the others. It's very, very well designed. Very, very beautiful models. And once more, let's try and spot these mould lines. So they're a bit more prominent on the horses, and you can actually see them if you look where my finger is. The mould lines are actually visible. But 3 kits out of 4 not really needing any cleaning up in that regards is quite incredible. So that is it for this unboxing video. This is, I have to say, this is one of the most beautiful army sets that I think Games Workshop has released. The models are incredibly detailed, and the assembly of them just looks really, really straightforward as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This helps me grow as a channel, be seen by more people, and it's always good to hear your feedback as well. If you want to see more from me, then head over to mythicalmeeples.com. There's a link in the description below for that. Or if you want to support me in other ways, then head over to my Patreon /mythicalmeeples. And again, there's a link in the description for that. If you want to pick up your own Games Workshop products as well, and you're in the EU or UK, then you can get them at a discounted price from Element Games. There's a link in the description below. If you use that link, it will drop a cookie in your browser letting them know you've come from me, and I will also get a 5% kickback, no extra cost to you for every purchase you make through that link. So if you plan on getting your own Darkoath miniatures, then consider getting them from Element Games, as you'll get a discounted price. And once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.